And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for spending time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Luke Makar joining us back in studio, Aspire Solar. We're going to talk solar with him. Some of the most prevalent misnomers out there around solar and, you know, some of the different questions that he sees a lot. Also, Florida Doge update. We have Jeff Hoffman joining us also, Nationwide Residential Capital. Talk a little real estate mortgage finance here on the program as well. Trump RX rolled out some interesting clips over the weekend. We'll dive into that here also on the program as well. And we always like to feature our real estate listings on air. It's part of a strategy that helps us sell our properties faster for more money. We got a 98% list price to sell price ratio as well, whereas the average on the MLS is a 92. So we always feature our listings on air. It helps us sell our listings faster for more money with less headaches. And we've got some really nice listings right now, about 50 current listings, vacant land, residential, commercial properties right here in beautiful Tampa Bay and throughout the region here. So here's one at 704 Brookside Drive. This is a property listed by, I believe this one's Nicole on our team. It's an entry-level home, 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1371 square feet, just under a quarter-acre lot. And you've got a wood-burning stove fireplace there as well. And you have a entry-level cash-focused opportunity in cozy, livable home with long-term potential. 704 Brookside Drive in Clearwater, Florida. 678 Mount Madison Avenue, Northeast, unit number 661. Another listing of ours here from the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty. You can see all of our listings online, platinummvpteam.kw.com. And you can see all of our radio and TV show experts at consumerqb.com. Feel-good story of the day also coming up. Dog rescued from shelter saves new owner from a house fire. So feel-good story coming up later on in the program as well. Luke Makar back in studio with us. Welcome back in, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. Give us a little teaser of what we're going to talk about today.
So I have a few misconceptions with solar. Oftentimes people will take to stuff like Facebook, the group chats, and you'll have so many different opinions in there. I think it's important to clarify what's legitimate reality and what is perhaps blown out of proportion or just factually wrong. And then 3 trends, different things we're seeing with our customers in terms of how they're buying, what they're buying, and then who they're buying from.
Yeah, so you got your buying trends, and you know, there are some taxation as well out there as well, and some of it has sunset, or is it about to sunset? Is that right?
Yeah, so the residential tax credit, which was very popular, was a 30% tax credit that you could use non-refundable. Last year it expired, and it has continued for leasing options, so they call it third-party ownership, which we at Aspire Solar don't offer. Not a huge fan of leasing and its benefits and drawbacks. But it also extended to commercial. So if you own a commercial building and you'd like to save money on electricity while getting a tax credit, then it still exists for commercial, but not for much longer. I believe it expires. You have to have a deal signed by July, I believe. So you have a few weeks to kind of get some quotes and pick an installer.
There you go. And you could get that to your CPA, and they'll know how to, add that to the paperwork.
Absolutely. They're just going to deduct it right off of your net income.
There you go.
So that's good.
That's great. Yeah, especially for the commercial business owners out there. I love that idea. So let's go into some of the common misnomers then. What do you see and what do you hear out there?
One of the big ones is with insurance companies. Florida insurance companies are often quite at a battle. But the big misconception is that, okay, if I get solar, my insurance company is going to drop me. That's very seldomly the case. It may be the case. I'm not going to say that 0 times out of 100 that will happen. There's so many different other providers that you can get. Realistically, there's a few things that you might want to have insured. You might want to say, I want my solar panels insured in the case of an emergency. Meaning if a hurricane comes and rips them off your roof, let's say you've spent $30,000, $40,000 on it, I want to bring my house back up to that condition. It's the same like if you invested in a new kitchen or you did a pool with a gazebo, you're going to add that to your total dwelling unit. So that's one option, right, that you may want to look at. And the other one is if your system is above a certain size, your utility will say, we want you to increase some of your policy limits when you go to net metering. But it is very, I don't want to say easy. I mean, I have good connections with insurance brokers, obviously, that I can connect our customers with, and tends to be always amongst the cheapest. So getting coverage or getting dropped is probably a good thing if it happens. It gives you an opportunity to shop around. It's not very common. That's the first misconception.
Okay.
Second misconception is going to be when it comes to payback periods.
Okay.
So let's say, well, it's never going to pay for itself, right? There's always someone who will say, I'll never see a return. I'll die. I'll have to replace the panels. That's just not, unless you're buying from somebody who's really ripping you off when it comes to the price, that's not the case. If you go with solar only, solar standalone with no batteries, depending on your utility as well, if you're with Tico or Duke, where the rates are higher than, for example, with Lacucci, you're going to get a 5 to 6 year payback. And the panels are going to last 25 years. So that's not an unreasonable return. Now, if you had a battery in, the battery doesn't save you any money. It just offers you some protection if the grid goes down. So obviously, you're adding cost, but you're not getting any increased payback period. So you're going to see between an 8 to 9 year payoff period. But you might say, well, that's fine by me because I know I can continue going to work in the event of a grid outage, and I know my wife and kids are not going to have to find a hotel or throw out a bunch of food or scramble as a result of a power outage. So that's the second big misconception.
Yeah, so the batteries have come a long way, it seems, right? The technology's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, it used to be that they were very expensive. They didn't last very long, and they were small in terms of their size. And now you're trending upwards in all of them. The value has increased in terms of the cost being much more attainable. You know, if I were going to compare a solar only plus a solar with battery system, you're looking at maybe $8,000 to $10,000 difference, whereas previously it was probably 15 to 17 in terms of which one do I choose. You say, okay, $8,000 and now you have some backup. People can justify that. They're also larger, so they'll last longer. You know, you can get through the night and then your solar will recharge in the morning. You can just continue this cycle indefinitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. I love that. It's powerful. Is it one of the big guys too, like an Elon Musk company? Is that the one that a lot of people use?
That's our go-to.
Yeah.
Is the Powerwall 3.
Yeah.
I have them in my house. We just installed them recently.
Very cool.
They're fantastic, and they're, from an installer perspective, they're super low maintenance. I don't have any customers call me back with any issues.
Yeah.
I just got off the phone with a guy who's had them for almost 2 years. The system is doing exactly what you said it was going to do. I have no problem with the Tesla. So from a business perspective, that's what you want. You don't want constant callbacks.
Yeah.
But also, it's 13.5 kilowatt hours worth of storage, which is a good chunk for one battery. And they also make an expansion pack, which is not an inverter and a battery. So they kind of set it up so the customer can choose exactly what they want when it comes to their storage, versus some manufacturers maybe are limited to what they can do. So they lock you in and say, well, we have one product, and if you want more, then you have to double it. So Tesla's made it very attainable to get a battery in 2026.
Yeah, and you mentioned net metering. I want to come back to that net metering. But if you just joined us, we're talking with Luke Makar. He is our solar expert contributor here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rimes, and he is the owner of Aspire Solar. And, you know, one thing that we know is going to continue the trend that we've seen. Again, historical data shows us that the future of the utility companies, it's going to go up. You know, they're going to continually go up, especially, you know, if there's storms or outages or God forbid, another big hurricane. You know, we have these challenges, and it just seems like the trend is those costs are going to go up. So by adding solar, this is a way that you can hedge against that. And is that where net metering comes in?
100%. So the idea is let's say I designed a system to cover 100% of your consumption, but your consumption is happening over a 24-hour period, right? The sun is not shining for 24 hours. It's going to shine from 8 in the morning till 8 or 9 at night. So there's going to be a large surplus of energy produced during the day that is nowhere really to go, that you're not using. So the utilities companies will receive that electricity back. Your meter winds backwards. You get a credit for it in the form of a kilowatt hour. And then at night, your meter will wind forwards, eating into that credit that you just built during the day.
Cool.
This process is called net metering. It is fantastic, and as long as it's here in Florida, it should be taken advantage of. States like Hawaii have done away with it because you have so many people going solar that the grid now has to be able to absorb all that electricity and then redistribute it later, and no one's paying a bill because they've given them a credit for it. So as long as net metering is in Florida, should definitely be taking advantage of it. The one thing that I will say is, and this goes back to our misconceptions, if you don't have a battery, you should be made aware that when the grid goes down, you do not have, your solar's not going to continue to run. People will say, well, why? And you think about it, where is that surplus going to go? We've already established during the day there's going to be a large surplus of electricity. If you can't send it back to the grid, you can't sell it back for a credit because let's say the lines are down, a linemen are working repairing them. Where does it go? If it can't go to a battery, then the system just has to shut off. So the misconception is, I have solar, I'll be good when the grid goes down. No, you'll be good if you have solar plus a battery.
Plus a battery.
Now, that's not to say that everybody has to get a battery. It's just to say that you have to understand what you're buying.
Yeah.
You're buying a quicker return, which is great. You're hedging against those rising electricity costs we talked about, but you're not going to have that backup power if the grid goes down.
Yeah.
So that's actually a nice segue into the next topics, which are trends we're seeing in the solar industry.
Yeah.
60% of our solar installations have solar plus battery.
Yeah.
And not but 5 years ago, the industry was closer to like a 5 or 10% battery take rate. So that
what's the cost on the battery? Just a rough estimate of what that would be, for if you want to do like a minimal investment in a battery or two.
Sure. If you're looking at solar plus battery versus solar only, it's going to be an $8,000 to $10,000 difference. Mm-hmm. And let's say you're saying like an average system with a battery is going to be low 30s to mid to high, like in that $35,000 range.
Yeah.
That's solar, battery, permitting, engineering, everything done out the door. And is that going to be enough battery for what you need? It really depends on a case-by-case scenario. But we're able to tell you, hey, Brandon, this one battery is going to last you 8 hours.
Yeah. Is
that enough for you?
Right.
You might say, well, I'll turn a few things off and I'll make it last.
Right.
You might say, do you know what? I'll spend another 8, get myself up to $43,000 total.
Right.
And get 16 hours.
Yeah.
Right? You might say, like, that's where I want to sit.
Interesting.
So to add on another battery after we've given you the price of the system, roughly $8,000 to $9,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's equivalent almost to what the generators are, right? I mean, generators are pretty expensive too. Yeah, those are loud and noisy, and you got to have a lot of maintenance on them.
And you got to fill them.
Yeah.
Right. So I think you're looking generators. I'm not in the generator business, but if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be between 15 and 20.
Yeah.
Maybe as high as 25, depending on the size.
Yeah.
For whole home proper generators, and they have no return on investment.
Right.
They don't save any money.
Yeah.
Half of that cost that we talked about with the solar is paying for your entire electric bill.
Yeah.
Right. So not only are you giving yourself that backup, but you're cutting into your utility costs. And we talked about rates going up. TECO's gone up between 60 to 80% in the last 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
So do I think that's going to stop? I don't want to say I hope not.
And data centers. The
business.
question too, right? You look at data centers and what's the impact of those data centers going to be? We've already seen, and it's going to be a lot of dictated on who wins the governorship. In the state of Florida, you've got certain candidates that seem to be more, big tech, pro data center versus others. Speaking of one of my favorites for front runners, just took on Disney this weekend. It's interesting because Jay Collins has the back of law enforcement and the safety of Florida citizens. Shame on you, Disney Springs. So Disney Springs, basically they had a situation where Disney Springs they were denying entry to those wearing shirts with law enforcement logos. It has been resolved. So following the intervention of Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins and a meeting between the director Cameron Pucci and the head of Park Security, Disney Springs has agreed to reverse the policy. So, I read some of the comments here, and it's kind of interesting because, they'll claim that Disney, will claim that, it was sowing confusion amongst the, the folks that were at the park, who was actually involved with law enforcement or not, or maybe who was just, an off-duty police officer, or who just bought a shirt that had, the logos on it. So essentially, but we've all seen what Disney did over the past few years, some of their movies, some of their policies and things of that nature. So It's kind of crazy that Disney has their own little carve out. Do they still have that carve out in Orlando? I think they do. I know DeSantis talked about maybe revoking it, but they have their own special zoning and municipality over there where they're essentially not adhering to some of the policies that a normal city would have to be. They're essentially kind of carved out over there.
They have their own zip code, don't they?
Yeah,
they have like their own. They're considered their own space.
Yeah, and
like a municipality.
I remember talking to one of our attorneys that was telling me about whenever there's a medical incident, they'll try to cover these things up, and oh no, let's not let that go public, things of that nature. So it's got its own little kind of carve out. It's interesting to see how that plays out. But I think DeSantis did a little smackdown on him a couple years ago, and it's kind of evened out. But I don't know. We'll see. But Jay Collins stepped in, who I like for governor. Vote for Jay Collins is the one I like. He's a Army. Was he a Ranger? Was he Green Beret? And got one of his legs blown off, and requalified, went back into the military. So he's proven that he loves our country, and he's a military guy, and that's my choice for governor.
Well, I hope he retains the same level of discipline that DeSantis has shown on these AI centers and pass through. Because if you look at other states and how they're considering it as a business opportunity to bring them in, and then you see the reaction in terms of the electrical consumption the electrical costs being passed down, and even potential like health risks that are being.
Yep.
It's pretty significant and
huge.
So this open door policy, because business is good business. Not all business is good business. So
no.
I love the fact that they said no. If you're going to increase the electrical draw, that you need to find ways to offset that. You need to be paid. Our constituents are not going to be paid. Paying for it. So hopefully whoever gets in there has the same kind of hard line.
I think so. Yeah, I hope so as well. Absolutely. It's behind the meter is essentially what they're calling that. Quick break, right back. More with Luke Makar, Aspire Solar, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. Feel good story of the day coming up. Dog rescued from shelter saves new owner from a house fire. Coming up, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
I want to tell you about our employee benefits program. This is a really cool package that we offer for employers out there. Education, guidance, incentives. So a real estate benefit that you can add for no cost. Partner with companies of all sizes to provide valuable real estate education, exclusive employee incentives, and trusted guidance through every step of the buying, selling, or investing process. At no cost, we're going to empower your employees, strengthen your company, and build brighter futures for them. Educational seminars, first-time buyer support, employee incentives, luxury, upsize expertise, new construction, building, as well as investment opportunities. Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. You can reach us at 813-917-1894. Check us out online at consumerqb.com. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We can close quickly for a all-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleaning, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894. consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813 Rimes at kw.com. All right, let me tell you about my friends at Bayview Paints Plus, top-tier window, solar panel, and gutter cleaning, Christian company with godly morals. Find them on Yelp, Facebook, and Instagram at Bayview Paints Plus, or call 813-917-1894. Window cleaning, solar panels, gutter cleaning at Bayview Paints Plus, 813-917-1894.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rimes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Luke Makar in studio with us. Aspire Solar, talking all things solar here on the program. We'll hit on Florida Doge also. And a feel-good story of the day, dog rescued from shelter, saves new owner from a house fire. Coming up here on the program, 6085 Bahia Del Mar Boulevard, number 106. This is a beautiful condo, 2-2. It's 1145 square feet, quarter-acre lot. And this is island living at its best. Waterfront golf community of Isla del Sol. You got a ground floor, dolphin-filled waters of St. Pete Beach and Passat Grill, first floor access, fully furnished turnkey residence at 6085 Bahia Del Mar Boulevard South, number 106, St. Petersburg, Florida. You can see all of our listings online at platinummvpteam.kw.com. You can see all of our radio and TV show experts. Click over to our YouTube and social medias at consumerqb.com. All right, yeah, so another big conversation in the news is, story that we've been talking about is Florida Doge. Florida Doge, man. Governor DeSantis is going to be calling a special session in an effort to eliminate some of this wasteful spending. Florida Doge has identified over $2 billion. I think the number might have crept up close to $3 billion now. And it's only about 13 or 14 different municipalities, counties, cities that they've gone to. But, some of the highlights here, lowlights, that is, for Broward County, $890,000 on DEI training. You've got $950,000 for company employee vehicle allowance right here in Hillsborough County. People can pay for their own transportation just like we do. You got a $7.5 million 1 mile sidewalk in Jacksonville. Luke, now you've been in construction for a while, and you've got your electrical degrees and all that stuff. When $7.5 million for a 1 mile stretch of sidewalk sounds a little excessive to me.
That's crazy. It's like we're trying to impersonate California, with their railroad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we're doing our best in California.
How much can we waste? Yeah. So let's eliminate that. Let's eliminate the wasteful spending, and let's give property owners a break on their taxes. That's more money to free up for solar and other projects, right?
Yeah, build up your infrastructure.
Yeah,
we don't need to. And it's just like any good business, like some stuff needs to be spent, but you always look, okay, can we be efficient? Right. Yeah. You grow a little bit too big for your britches, you start wasting money.
Yeah.
Who's paying for it?
Yeah, and the budget was set $1 billion budget by 2031, $81 billion budget by 2031. In 2019, it was a $30 billion budget relating to the property tax. 2026, it's a $60 billion budget projected, or right now. So
that's what our property tax is tracking for. That's the money that the state's going to recover.
That's where it was going to go. Yeah, $81 billion. And homesteaded property tax is only 9% of that total budget breakdown. They want to lie to you and say how much it is. It's only 9% of that actual budget breakdown. So, Luke, how do people connect with you, my friend?
Visit our website, aspiresolarenergy.com. Our Instagram, follow Aspire Solar. Give us a call, 813-954-0084, and that'll take you directly to me.
Repeat that number.
813-954-0084.
All right, good stuff, man. Coming up, Jeff Hoffman, Nationwide Residential Capital Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to talk real estate, market updates, and the mortgage side coming up here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rimes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. To the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back, Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Jeff Hoffman joining us in studio here. We're going to talk a little bit about Trump RX. We also have some of the latest mortgage insights, what may happen here with the Federal Reserve. Just, recently saw the swearing in of Kevin Warsh, so we'll see, kind of how that plays out. Looks like the Iran conflict might be, kind of settling down. So hopefully gas prices come down. I've seen the stock market go up, I believe. So there's a lot of good things happening around the real estate mortgage space here. We'll talk with Jeff Hoffman, get his expert opinion. He's with Nationwide Residential Capital, nationwiderc.com. We'll talk with him coming up here in just a moment. Before we do, featuring our listings, 5830 Portsmouth Drive in Tampa. We always like to feature our real estate listings live on air, and it's part of a strategy that helps us sell faster for more money with less headaches. We've got an entry-level 0.11 acre lot. You got 49 feet of saltwater canal lot, manufactured home, Rocky Creek, Tampa Bay, access to the Gulf. 5830 Portsmouth Drive, affordable home right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 5841 Southeast 164th Avenue in Ocklawaha, Florida. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet, half-acre lot. And the further north you go, seems like you get a little more value up that way as far as dollar per square foot. You've got a non-flood zoned property, no HOA, close to Moon Lake, and you have a pond with consistent breezes, making a peaceful setting. 5841 Southeast 164th Avenue, and you have a great opportunity to buy real estate. You can see all of our listings online at platinummvpteam.kw.com, and you can see all of our radio and TV show experts at consumerqb.com. And a quick shout out to our friends at Heights Softwash, pressure washing company, heightssoftwash.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Taking clean to new heights, Heights Softwash. heightssoftwash.com. All right, Jeff Hoffman back in studio with us. And how are things going, man? What's new in your world?
Oh, man. Good to be here, Brandon. Good to be here. I tell you, the mortgage industry keeps coming up with different stuff, man. Keep it exciting, that's for sure. Like right now, we rolled out a temporary interest rate buydown for your govies or conventional loans. So no matter what the rate is, you get a 1% temporary interest rate buydown for the full year. So if you're, say, if your rate's 6%, you're going to be 5% for the first year. Nice. And it's no cost to the borrower. It's not like this is a gimmick where they increase the fees and do something like that. It's actually no cost to the borrower. We have that going on through the end of June.
So you normally have to pay to buy that down, right?
Correct. You have to pay. The seller has to pay. So if you got seller concessions, you can use the seller concessions to, do a temporary interest rate buydown. You can use it towards your closing costs. In this case, since it's already being paid by the bank, now you can use that money to actually either lower the interest rate even more or pay towards your closing costs. So, yeah, it's a great deal right now. Nobody else is doing it. You can't just go to your...
Seems like the market's turning too. I mean, there's more pendings. You have the rates of pendings is up. The rate of closed sales is up. So it seems like we might be pulling out of this slight, it's not necessarily a buyer's market, but it's more balanced. It's more balanced as it been. Sellers are willing to offer more concessions and give more incentive, maybe do repairs they wouldn't do in the past. But it seems like with all the stuff going on up north, you'd have more activity,
I know, right? I think you're right. I do. I think that, but this is the time where you're going to start seeing. So if you're sitting on the fence and you're looking to move, I think you're going to have a little bit more opportunities to see, because typically a lot of houses do come on the market right now because of school ending and people relocating. They don't want to take their kids out of that school or change school zones. So you're going to see that. I think a lot more inventory may be available. So someone that's sitting on the fence and they want to take a look. I think they may have a little bit of opportunity here during the summertime.
Yeah, we always have seasonality in our business that we can kind of know and predict that you see happen. So yeah, the schools are getting out, or graduations are just happening. So people are going to make those moves as Jeff was recommending or discussing. And I just think there's optimism around here with the war kind of pulling. It seems like we're kind of pulling out hopefully at some point here, and we'll be moving forward in the right way. And there. Potentially the economic impact there.
Oh gosh, yeah.
The Tampa City Council voted 4-3 to approve a memorandum of understanding, which is not a solid deal yet, but it's a memorandum of understanding. I liken it to a LOI in the commercial business, the commercial space. It's a letter of intent for a $2.3 billion Rays Stadium project. The debate is centering on a $976 million public contribution, aka taxpayers coming out of pocket with some money, and $150 million in needed state funding, a pivotal decision for the future of the historic gas plant district and Ybor City area real estate. So when you look at it, you've got not only by Raymond James, the new site where I guess Florida College, I believe, is
Hillsborough Community College.
Hillsborough Community. Thank you. So you have that's going to be the new place, but the old place is going to be redeveloped too.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
I think they're going to have to redevelop that whole area. So
I mean, there's a lot. That's great news for everybody around that area, right?
Yeah.
And property value is going to increase. I mean, listen, I'm born and raised here in St. Pete. I'm a big time Rays fan. My family loves the Rays. I don't want them to go. Right? I love to see the what they are going to bring and the people they bring. I think it's going to be awesome, and especially they're like the best team in baseball right now.
They're doing really well, aren't they? They always overperform, man, with an under-budgeted team.
100%, all the time. They're so well coached. They got their minor league system is amazing, and we need to support them. 100%, I'm behind it.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody gets involved and gets behind it because we don't want to see them go.
Yeah. Now, the flip side of that is some people are saying, hey, look, the taxes, I don't want to pay for it. But, you do have a lot of economic impact. You've got the industrial. I mean, there's so many different. Of course, tourism, condos, the whole area is just going to be lifted up. And hopefully it creates some longevity and some jobs. And hopefully there's a fair deal in place where, maybe some of that money comes back to the taxpayers, right?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it is going to increase jobs. And what was that I read? Like, I think didn't Hillsborough County or whoever fund the entire Tampa Bay Stadium? There was something about that.
Well, we had Josh Wostel on the show. He's the county commissioner. He's one of the county commissioners that voted down on it, I believe. For the new Rays funding, but he was telling us some of the history with Raymond James and things of that nature, and he did say that he felt that the Rays, the Buccaneers and the Lightning were a little bit more fair players than this group that's negotiating for the Rays. But we'll see how it plays out. You always have the politics side in there, but another big development.
They do. They love it. I mean, they love the water. Look at we have the best beaches around. Right?
Yeah.
They come here to Florida for the white sand beaches, and so when you go there and you can see the sunset on this side, it's like it sells itself for sure. So that's why people come to the beach and a lot of those I think are some condo hotels too. So it's gonna you're gonna see a lot of amenities that come with those, and it's redeveloping that area. On
the Consumer Quarterback Show, I'm your host Brandon Rimes, and this quick clip here. We got a clip also I wanted to play. There's one of Mark Cuban who was But I love what they're doing. They came together here with Trump RX.
What makes Cost Plus Drugs different is that when you click through Trump RX to our site, not only will you see a great price, but you'll see our actual cost and that we only mark it up 15%. And what makes this incredible, Mr. President, all the volume and all the people that are going to come from the site, as our volumes go up, our costs go down, which means we'll be ending up charging less to people over a period of time.
So I like that. The more volume, the cost comes down. So the Trump RX, and I can tell you from firsthand, I take a certain medication that was on Trump RX. I used to pay $600 for it. I got it for like $239.
Wow.
I mean, it was a huge decrease. I mean, that's real savings right there.
It's kind of like the Walmart approach, right? The more volume they do, the less it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's coming around. He was against him, but now you're starting to see that he's coming around and supporting him.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah. I love it. It's a shifting of the winds. Definitely the political winds have changed, and you see that. But Trump RX, 601 more drugs were added. So that's another way that, people can save money. It's another thing that's, it's an unfortunate, but, a lot of people do take prescription drugs, and they're, on these different things to extend their life. And, you look at the overall affordability piece, people need more relief right now.
They do. I mean, health insurance costs are going up. Mine's gone up, right? Being
Yep.
self-employed.
Yeah.
Your health insurance cost has gone up tremendously over the years, and I cover my kids, not my wife, because it made more sense for me. But yeah, now it's the savings. Anytime you can save money on a lot of things, I mean, it's beneficial for sure.
Yep, and it's going to drive the economy. So I think gas prices are going to be coming down. Affordability, you're going to see that happening. Insurances, DeSantis came out a few weeks back. It looks like insurances are getting better. There's a lot of stuff happening throughout the area as well. There's another development here. Villa del Sol approved in Newport Richey, 150 million mixed use project, adds 453 homes to Pasco. So look at the expansion there. Even Pasco is growing. Seems like a lot of people love that trend of Pinellas to Pasco, or even further up to Citrus County, right?
They do, yeah. And to talk about the insurance, I've seen it right now. Like when I get insurance quotes that come over for my clients, I can see the cost is decreasing, and people are pleasantly surprised. And then you combine that with the possible reduction of property taxes here. I think that also when these condos, insurance is going to decrease. That could cause HOAs to decrease. So insurance is big. Less insurance costs is huge for saving money.
Yeah, and what a great place to live, work, and play. When you look at Tampa Bay, there was also another report that came out recently. It's 2026 US News. So they did the top 250 best places to live, and 22 of the Florida cities are on there. So number one, Parkland, and then number two, Palm Harbor. Palm Harbor came in at number 62 out of the entire 250 list. Weston, Florida. Riverview, right out here in Hillsborough
look
County.
At Riverview, 4.
Yeah, coming in at number 4 in Florida and number 97 out of the 250. Spring Hill is up there. That's a little bit surprising. Kendall, Alafaya, Doral, Crestview, Jupiter on the East Coast there. Jupiter's nice East Coast on the waterfront. Popka over there in Orlando. I think that's where old Warren Sapp's from. The Villages, Homosassa, Naples. I used to work at the Ritz-Carlton down there back in the day. Naples is a nice area, very, very wealthy, affluent area. Very expensive.
Very expensive. The Villages is huge. Like I was just out there last weekend or the weekend before, and they just keep building. Right, that place is massive, and a lot of people just keep growing. They just built a brand new high school out there. Right, they got tons of golf. I think they have like 45 total different golf courses, including 9-hole golf courses. Right,
huge.
It's huge. They party too down there in the Villages.
I hear that.
They get down. So
I heard
it's that area is just booming too as well.
I'm surprised they got a new high school. I thought it was mostly seniors up there.
You're right, they are. But they can live there and still have younger. Their children can live there too, right?
Yeah.
So they have a brand new high school that's opened up, like maybe within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So the golf course my son played at was 2 years old, and you look around and they're just building, just keep building and building.
Yeah.
Growing.
I think that's where our friend Martin Gramatica has his location as well for his Clearview imaging.
He does. It is up there.
Yep. And then you got Tampa coming in at number 18 out in Florida, for the Florida list. Orlando, Punta Gorda, St. Augustine, and Cape Coral kind of rounding out our Tampa Bay, area and Florida. Bonita Springs on the list too. Pembroke Pines, Ormond Beach. So yeah, a lot of good stuff in Florida, man. It's nice to see that we had a good showing there. But number one for Florida, Parkland, Florida, and Palm Harbor, number 2, right there, Pinellas County, man.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to relocate to Florida. There's so many, like the top real estate right now, the hottest markets are in Florida. Right?
Yeah, the East Coast is on fire, isn't it? Miami-Dade, Palm Beach, that whole area. There's about 50 billionaires down there. You got the golf, the World Cup coming down there as well.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, and they're building out there too. That is a hot spot for sure.
Yeah, it's a hot spot for building. And by the way, Tariff Watch, this was interesting because speaking of builders, you mentioned that NABH, the National Association of Home Builders, is highlighting the impact of a 25% tariff on cabinetry and furnishings currently set to remain in place until January 1 of 2027, adding significant cost pressure on builders already facing margin compression. Elevated material costs are contributing to reducing housing starts and continued use of buyer incentives to move inventory. Builders are absorbing or passing along costs in ways that further strain affordability. So when you think about that, you look at, especially a lot of people you see out east here, like the Riverview area, Brandon, Valrico, some of those areas, they want to sell their 5-10-year-old home. So they want to sell that resale, that used home, but these new homes are competing. Right, I'm sure you ran into that over your career, right? You see that, and then the new home builders have all these incentives sometimes. Kind of peel back the onion there for me.
Yeah,
Jeff.
they do. Home builders do have incentives, right? So, I talk to clients all the time, and if you go into that with your blinders on, then you can get burned a bit. So, builders, they own the mortgage company, a lot of them, right? So they're not just
title.
Yeah, and title company, right? So they're going to like, hey, we're going to give you $20,000 in closing costs if you use us. Well, a lot of that's built in, and they're not just giving you $20,000, right? So it depends on how much they're going to cost you. So I tell clients all the time that you got to hold builders accountable, just like anybody else. You have to get their estimate, take a look, and see, because I can guarantee you that they're not going to give you the lowest rate available.
You're going to pay for it on the rate.
You're going to pay for it on
interest rate over time, right?
Over time. So it really depends on how long you want to keep that house and what you have as financing available. But keep the builder in check, because it's not always the best to go through the builder for financing.
Yeah, 100%. Still shop Jeff. Get a quote from Jeff. Let them take a look at it and see, kind of where it stacks out. Especially when he mentions he's got a 1%. It's essentially free money right now. The builders have the lenders having an incentive, 1% interest rate buy down that usually costs money, but they're offering it now as a bonus.
Yeah, they're offering it. So if you're under contract and you want to compare, you can reach out to me and we can take a look. It doesn't hurt. That 1% interest rate buy down is huge. It's going on to the end of June. Again, it's not a cost to you. It's not that something's inflated to cover it. This is a legit free money for a 1% interest rate buy down on a home, on a government purchase or conventional loan.
Feel good story of the day coming up. Quick break, right back. Dog rescued from shelter saves new owners from a house fire. Quick break, right back.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals.
Touch with Brandon. Call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Tired of long lines at the airport? Check out Tampa Bay's premier private jet source. I'm Brandon Rimes for Will Smith Aviation. Aircraft management, acquisition, and sales, luxury jet escapes, and packages. Check them out online. WillSmithAviation.com. That's WillSmithAviation.com. Or call the show. I'll put you right in touch directly with Captain Will Smith. AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke, American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Coble, owner of Coble Law. Coble Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com, TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Coble, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal injury law, and work comp law. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for our friends at TargetSurveying.net. For all of your surveying needs, land surveying firm providing services for real estate since 1992, and they are statewide. Check them out online, TargetSurveying.net. That's TargetSurveying.net. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing, we would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, we're back. Consumer Quarterback Show. Jeff Hoffman in studio, Nationwide Residential Capital with us. We got a feel-good story of the day coming up. And then I'm going to have Jeff talk about the Federal Reserve, what that means, what that might do to interest rates as well. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, 3757 East Side Court, Inverness, Florida. Another listing from our real estate team. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1644 square feet, quarter-acre lot, private wooded setting with no immediate neighbors on the front, behind, or either side. You got a brand-new roof in January. You have no HOA. Freedom to bring your four-wheelers, boats, and RVs. Beautiful screen lanai, French doors, solid concrete block home right here in beautiful Tampa Bay, northern part of Tampa Bay. That's in Inverness, Florida. Check out 3757 East Side Court, 11101 Sumner Road in Waimama. I love this one because you've got vegetables growing in your 5-acre parcel of land here. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1620 square feet, 4.9 acres. MOL, and you've got about $6,000 to $8,000 of monthly vegetable revenue coming in. It's an agricultural zone property. You also have a single-family mobile home there as well, which is 1,620 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, manufactured home with central air. 11101 Sumner Road, Waimama, Florida, for that agricultural-minded mixed-use property buyer out there. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com.
Buy dirt. Find one you can't live without. Tell me something good.
All right, so a dog that was adopted from a shelter proved just how life-changing rescue animals can be. After given a second chance, the dog alerted its new owner to a house fire in the middle of the night. The warning gave the new homeowner time enough to escape safely before the fire spread. The grateful owner described his dog as a genuine treasure, while animal advocates point to the story as another example of rescue pets giving back the love they're shown. There you have it, our feel-good story of the day. And in summary here, Jeff, I wanted you to talk a little about, new Kevin Warsh, new Fed chair, and maybe what you see happening in the future here with rates.
Yeah, I do. I see that just doing some study up on it, that I think that the Feds are going to actually increase the Fed rate. They've been going down, and typically what happens is that when they do increase the Fed rate, if history repeats itself, mortgage rates actually decline. So a lot of people think that that when they lower the Fed rate, that mortgage rates are decreasing, but the Fed rate really doesn't have anything to do with the 30-year fixed mortgage. The Fed rate is more of your short-term note rates, like your HELOC. So if you have a home equity line of credit right now, if they increase the Fed rate, well, then your HELOC rate is going to go up. Also, too, if you have money in a money market, high-yield savings, if they increase the Fed rate, that's going to increase your yield savings, so you'll make more money on that part. But and typically, when they do decrease the Fed rate, actually mortgage rates increase. There's a knee-jerk reaction to that. So I do believe that if they do increase the Fed rate, mortgage rates would actually could come down, because that's what happens when they do that. So yeah, and again, when the war gets settled and inflation gets under control, mortgage rates are going to decrease. So that's why that temporary interest rate buy down is so huge, because if the locked-in rate is, say, 6.5%, and you're at 5.5%, you may never get to that 6.5% rate, because you'll probably have an opportunity within a year to refinance, because rates are going to come down.
And it's a lot based on the 10-year bond, more or less the long-term bond that's going to be dictating the longer-term interest rate.
Correct. Yeah. You watch that 10-year Treasury. So, like, the market's been hot. The stock market's been doing well. So, yeah, I think that you're going to see this is a great opportunity to buy, and so jump on it.
Yeah, reach out to Jeff, nationwiderc.com, Nationwide Residential Capital. Jeff Hoffman, thanks for coming in, bud. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Talk to you soon.
All right, another great show. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.